Hi there and welcome to SonicEd Scotland Lesson 1 Mix Essentials. In this lesson we're going to look at the very basics of mixing using a DAW or Digital Audio Workstation. Most of this you already know, so I'll keep it brief where I can. Also, I'm working in Avid Pro Tools 10, so some of the information in these videos may well differ from what you already know about your own DAW. We'll start with a quick revision of transport controls. Transport controls are used to start and stop playback and other time-related functions. This is start playback, this is stop playback. Rewind, fast forward. This guy is your RTZ button, which moves you back to the start of the session. RTZ stands for return to zero, which is in terms of time. Use this guy to jump to the end of the session. In Pro Tools, the end of the session is the last clip of audio or MIDI, or the last piece of automation. This is the record enable button. If you've got tracks armed for recording, press this button. Those tracks will be recorded in the next playback. There's a couple of different ways of carrying out a recording pass. You can start from anywhere on the timeline and record on from there, either creating a new file or overwriting, depending on how your DAW is set up. But there's another handy thing you can do called punching. Punching into a recording and later punching out allows you to toggle between recording and not recording during a recording pass. Handy if you only want to record certain sections. Moving on, you should definitely know about this guy, the level fader. Push it up to increase the level and bring it down to decrease it. Then you've got these guys up here, the solo and mute buttons. As the name suggests, solo cuts all other tracks except the soloed tracks. You can also set up the tracks to ignore solos. They become solo safe. The mute button cuts the track from the mix. Not to forget this guy. This is the record enable button for a track. If you have the record enable button pressed on an audio or MIDI track and you press the record enable button on the transport window, the next time you play you'll record to the armed tracks. MIDI or audio depends on the type of track. Panning is used to control the position of the track in the stereo image. You should know this already, but I'll run through it quickly. Control the panning of the track with this pot here. A track will have as many pan pots as it does channels of audio. In this case, all the tracks have only one, since they're all single channel tracks. Listen to these drums just now. They're all panned centre. Now I'll quickly pan these tracks and play it again. As you can hear, the different tracks, now panned, do sound wider. This is essential knowledge, but it's pretty effective in making space in the mix. Let's move on. Let's have a look at the signal path in your average DAW. Pro Tools makes this simple by having everything laid out vertically in the mix window. First you've got inserts. That's these guys up here. Inserts are used to affect the whole signal. Unprocessed signal goes in, processed signal comes out. Next are the auxiliaries. Your auxiliary sends in a DAW. These are used to send audio from one track to another. Unlike inserts, you can control the level of audio being sent to wherever it's going. As you can see, this is the level fader for the given send. You've also got a pan pot and a mute button. For this send, the pan pot is inactive since the follow main pan FMP is activated. Simply click that again and you'll see the pan control restored. Pan and level control on your sends work exactly the same way as on your mix control. Lastly, just beneath your sends, you've got inputs and outputs. These vary between setups. This isn't in the course notes, but it's worth having a look at. You might find yourself in a position where you want to change something in your mix halfway through. In the days of old, engineers had to do this manually while the output from the desk was recorded to tape. If they made a mistake, they were back to the start, wearing out the tape as they went. In modern times, we use a feature called automation to control parameters during playback. There's a couple of different ways to do this in a DAW. In Pro Tools, here's the first. Set your track to auto latch. In this mode, automation will be recorded when you make changes. I'll start playback and change the level on the kick drum here to demonstrate. As you can see, nothing appears to have happened just now. If we play it back again, however, you'll notice changes. Automation can change just about anything. In Pro Tools, you can use it for levels, for pan, for mute, you can bypass inserts and sends, you can automate the parameters for each. At the end of a full session, you can end up with a lot of automation if you're using it, however it is worth using. This concludes this lesson. I've added a link to the feedback survey. If you can use it to let me know what you think of this lesson, that would be great. This is Lesson 1, Mix Essentials. Cheers.